This is Otemachi Station on the Tokyo Metro Marunouchi Line. Otemachi Station is one of the few stations in the Tokyo subway network where 5 different lines converge. The only other instances are Akasaka Mitsuke and Nagatacho stations, which are treated as a single interchange. Akasaka Mitsuke Station serves the Ginza and Marunouchi lines, while Nagatacho Station serves the Yurakucho, Hanzomon, and Namboku lines. Some view them as distinct entities because the station names differ. The layout of Otemachi Station is shown here. The platforms for each line are quite far apart, and transferring between certain lines requires a significant amount of time. The arrangement of the platforms is sometimes described as P-shaped, but in reality, it is not that simple. The platforms for each line are not necessarily connected at their ends, and some sections have subtle distances between them. There are passages both inside and outside the fare gates, offering various transfer routes. A notable feature is that Otemachi Station is located very close to Tokyo Station. While the Marunouchi Line's Otemachi and Tokyo stations are separate, the Tozai and Toei Mita Line platforms, located further south, are very close to Tokyo Station, and many people transfer by walking. On the other hand, the Marunouchi Line is the only subway line that directly serves Tokyo Station. While Tokyo Station is larger as a general railway station, the opposite is true regarding the subway network. I will examine the circumstances behind the creation of Otemachi Station, its history to date, and the characteristics of each line. The opening dates for each line are shown here. The Marunouchi Line was the first to open, commencing service when it was extended from the neighboring Awajicho Station to Tokyo Station. Marunouchi Line trains currently run in 6-car formations, but at that time, they operated with 4 cars only during the morning rush and fewer cars during other periods. The plan for the location of Otemachi Station was decided after several considerations. In the original route plan, the line was supposed to pass under the national railway tracks from Ochanomizu, go through Kanda Station, and then head toward Tokyo Station. However, the plan to pass through Kanda Station was cancelled for 5 primary reasons, and a route via Awajicho Station was adopted instead. First, the Ginza line was already located under the road near Kanda, leaving no room to run the Marunouchi line parallel to it. Second, the back streets on the west side of this avenue were too narrow for the Marunouchi line, and the poor geological conditions made construction difficult. Third, there was no prospect of realizing the planned urban roads along the national railway line between Kanda and Tokyo. If the Marunouchi Line could not be built under a road, the construction would require the eviction of private residents. The impact on the local community would be significant, the construction would become difficult, and the project period would be extended. Fourth, congestion at Kanda Station was increasing. I concluded that building the Marunouchi Line there should be avoided, as the station was becoming more crowded with transferring passengers every year. Fifth, by routing the line through Awajicho Station, the travel time from the Ikebukuro area to the city center could be reduced, and construction costs could be saved. As specific routes, I considered a route from Awajicho through Otemachi to the Marunouchi side of Tokyo Station, and another from Awajicho through Tokiwabashi to the Yaesu side of Tokyo Station. After the end of the war, high-rise buildings in Marunouchi were requisitioned by the GHQ, and corporate headquarters moved to the Yaesu side of Tokyo Station, leading to rapid development there. The ratio of users between the Marunouchi and Yaesu exits of Tokyo Station was 90:10 in 1941, but by 1951 it had changed to 62:38, showing an increase in Yaesu exit users. However, there were predictions that the GHQ requisition would end soon, and plans for building developments in the area from Marunouchi to Otemachi suggested further growth, so the Marunouchi Line route was set to pass through the Marunouchi side of Tokyo Station. Additionally, the plan was for the Marunouchi Line to continue south from the Marunouchi side of Tokyo Station along a main avenue toward Hibiya. However, building construction was progressing around Hibiya, and the plan was changed because it would interfere with the building foundations. A new proposal was considered to pass under the National Railway tracks, go through Nishi-Ginza Station, and pass under the tracks again to reach Hibiya Park. Although this route is about 300 meters (980 feet) longer than the original plan, the benefit of establishing a station in the busy Ginza district is significant. Furthermore, because the plan to connect the Marunouchi and Ginza lines at Kanda Station was cancelled, the proportion of commuting demand on the Marunouchi line increased. This proposal was adopted to compensate for that change. Regarding the northern point where the line passes under the National Railway tracks, one other location was considered. While it had the advantage of fewer curves, many switches were located above the crossing point, and difficult construction was expected. The current route was chosen because there were fewer switches directly above and the viaducts were sturdy. An application for approval to change the route was submitted in June 1963, and it was approved in October of the same year. Incidentally, Nishi-Ginza Station was integrated into Ginza Station when the Hibiya Line opened in 1964. The Tozai Line was the next to open. It opened in 1966, about 10 years after the Marunouchi Line, when it was extended from Takebashi Station to the west. The platform was closer to Otemachi than Tokyo Station, so the station was named Otemachi. The following year, it was extended to Toyocho Station and became an intermediate station. As other lines eventually converged, Otemachi Station expanded its scale. The next was the Chiyoda Line. In 1969, service began from Kita Senju Station to Otemachi Station. It was in 1971 that the Chiyoda Line was extended to Kasumigaseki Station. The next line, the Mita Line, opened in 1972. The section between Sugama Station and Hibiya Station commenced operations. South of Otemachi Station, the tunnels for the Chiyoda and Mita lines were constructed simultaneously. In addition to the narrow road width, it was difficult to dig separate tunnels for both lines because the Marunouchi buildings were to the east and the Imperial Palace Moat was to the west. The tunnels for both lines are structurally integrated. The Hanzomon Line was the last to open. The section between Hanzomon Station and Mitsukoshi-mai Station opened in 1989. Since the opening periods vary, the facilities of each line reflect the circumstances of their respective times. Furthermore, building subways in the middle of the city center was not easy, and the timing of the openings was influenced by these challenges. I will now examine the equipment of each line along with their operational characteristics. I will view the Marunouchi Line platform first, then visit the Tozai, Mita, Chiyoda, and Hanzomon lines in order before returning to the Marunouchi Line. The Marunouchi Line platforms are located on both sides of the tracks. The ticket gates are at both ends of the platform on a mezzanine level. In subways built early on, ticket gates are sometimes on the same level as the platform and connected to only one side to simplify the structure. Some stations on the Ginza Line have this structure, which is inconvenient because one must check the correct gate before entering. Because the Marunouchi Line ticket gates are on the mezzanine, I can go directly to either platform. The mezzanine levels exist only at the ends of the platform because there was a pipe containing main cables for the former NTT's predecessor in the center, which had to be avoided. The ceiling is high except where it would conflict with the piping, so I can see where the pipes used to be. 4 entrances were provided at the time of opening, and they still remain today. However, many have changed shape, such as being renovated to connect directly underground when surrounding buildings were rebuilt. Being in the heart of the city, direct underground access to the subway station is important for the convenience of the buildings. Additionally, a Sankei Group building is on the west side of the Marunouchi Line station, which has the secondary name Sankei Mai. The Marunouchi Line station was completely renovated by 2018. This was carried out by Tokyo Metro as a full-scale renovation of Otemachi Station, targeting the Marunouchi, Tozai, and Chiyoda Line facilities, which have been in use for a relatively long time. Stone and steel plates are used as common materials to create a sense of unity for the station. In the Marunouchi Line facilities, bricks with a color similar to the line color are incorporated into the walls around the ticket gates and platforms. The lighting is planned to highlight these materials, intending to create a space that is simple yet warm and possesses a powerful dignity. The Marunouchi Line timetable is shown here. The Marunouchi Line is a route that pierces the Tokyo city center in a U-shape. Many passengers change at Otemachi Station. The Marunouchi Line uses 6-car formations with 18-meter cars. To handle many passengers with small cars, a large number of trains run during the morning rush. Because the Honancho branch line diverges at Nakano Sakaue Station before Ogikubo Station, there are also trains bound for Honancho. The Honancho branch line used to be based on 3-car formations, but with the replacement of rolling stock, it was standardized to 6 cars, and through trains with the main line increased significantly. From here, I will first head to the Tozai Line platform. The Marunouchi Line and Tozai Line platforms are slightly far apart. Since transferring without passing through the gates requires a detour, one must exit the ticket gates once to transfer. While other lines provide guidance for transfer routes inside the gates, only the Tozai Line is different. Even with an out-of-gate transfer, no new fare is charged if the transfer is made within 60 minutes, so this is the only practical choice. The area around the ticket gates was also part of the renovation, and brick walls are found here along with digital signage displaying advertisements. I turn left after exiting the ticket gates. Since it is early morning on a holiday, the shutters of the building in front are not open. Perhaps only this staircase ahead is located in the space between buildings, as the interior design here alone is old. The typical subway passage ends halfway, and from here, I pass through a large-scale building. This building was constructed about 10 years ago. The basement floor has a wide passage, and sometimes regional product fairs are held in the atrium. The west ticket gate of the Tozai Line is located just outside this building. This area was renovated to coincide with the construction of the building I just passed through. Not only has the appearance become clean, but the narrow passage in front of the ticket gate has been significantly expanded, easing congestion. Escalators and elevators were also added, improving convenience. The previous transfer route is on the west side of the Marunouchi Line. There is also a transfer route on the east side of the Marunouchi Line, which leads to the Tozai Line central ticket gate. Unlike the Marunouchi Line, the Tozai Line has a passage on the level above the platform. This passage connects to nearby buildings, contributing to passenger distribution and improved access. This structure is the standard for Otemachi Station, except for the Marunouchi Line. This passage outside the fare gates narrows suddenly in the middle. This is the intersection with the Marunouchi Line. The Tozai Line platform intersects with the Marunouchi Tunnel at the center. The reason the passage narrows is that the Marunouchi Tunnel protrudes into the Tozai Line tunnel here. I will walk through it since it is difficult to understand with words alone. Unlike the Marunouchi Line, the Tozai Line has a platform between the inbound and outbound tracks. The level that was as wide as the Tozai Line platform and tracks until now narrows, and the passage remains only above the platform. Then I immediately descend the stairs to avoid the Marunouchi Line tunnel. Although it is designed with a low ceiling to avoid occupying surrounding space, the floor of this passage protrudes over the Tozai Line platform. Incidentally, the statue located earlier is the statue of Mercury. It is a bronze statue created by a famous sculptor in 1951. The themes are post-war reconstruction and the hope of youth, and similar statues exist at stations like Ginza, Nihonbashi, and Uno. After passing under the Marunouchi Line tunnel, the passage gains height and cranks to the left and right. The protrusion of this passage floor is clearly visible from the Tozai Line platform. That is shown here. It protrudes so much that it is obvious from the platform, creating a sense of pressure. Perhaps because the load is heavy, the pillars are thicker than elsewhere and are rectangular. Furthermore, there are 3 rows, creating a quite intimidating presence. If the passage were lowered to its full width without narrowing, the floor would also protrude over the tracks on both sides and hit the train cars. Therefore, the passage is structured to protrude only over the platform here. I think the passage width could have been secured without needing to lower it if the entire tunnel were built lower, but that would have increased construction costs. At the time of planning, it was not expected that demand for the Tozai Line would grow this much, and the current structure seems to be the result of balancing convenience, cost, and construction effort. The Tozai Line connects with the Chiyoda Line local trains at Nakano and the Sobu Line local trains at Nishi-Funabashi. And at Nishi-Funabashi, it also connects with the Toyo Rapid Railway, which opened later. In addition to the bypass effect for the Chiyoda and Sobu lines, residential development along the eastern section led to a rapid succession of increased service and additional cars after opening. However, that alone was not enough to handle the congestion at each station. After opening, facilities at each station were renovated, platform widths were expanded, and stairs and escalators were added. Furthermore, construction has even involved extending platforms to change the stopping positions of inbound and outbound trains to ease congestion, and breaking through tunnels to add tracks and platforms. Between stations, work is also progressing to renovate the reversing tracks provided at the time of opening to make it easier for trains to turn back. During the morning rush, trains run at a minimum interval of 2 minutes, and congestion measures, especially toward Nakano, have been a long-standing issue. This passage is narrow and has a wall in the center to support the load of the Marunouchi Line tunnel. During rush hours, it is often packed with people and becomes congested. Beyond this is the central ticket gate. Despite being called central, it is smaller in scale than the west ticket gate, which was expanded later. Further ahead is the east ticket gate. The reason there are many people, despite it being early morning on a holiday, is that there is a passage leading to Tokyo Station just past the turn to the right. In the middle of this passage, the Tozai Line intersects with the viaducts of the Yamanote Line and other tracks. This is exactly around the east ticket gate, a place where the Tozai Line construction was quite difficult. I heard that because the construction was so stalled, it was even considered to delay the opening between Otemachi and the neighboring Nihonbashi Station and operate the line in 2 separate sections until the work was completed. Ultimately, the intersection construction was finished through a rush job to achieve a simultaneous opening of the entire section, which shows how difficult the work at the intersection was. Even considering the inconvenience of the narrow passage at the Marunouchi Line intersection, it seems it was more important to keep the Tozai Line tunnel as shallow as possible to facilitate construction. Since this passage is directly above the Tozai Line, its width is the same as the Tozai Line tunnel. Around here, there are toilets on the left, so only the right half is the passage, but a little further along, the passage occupies the full width. The presence of pillars in the center is also the same as the tunnel below. I can hear the sound of the trains running directly underneath. Thinking that a train is running right below me increases the excitement. The fact that the far end is only open from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. suggests it is intended for the demand of people traveling to and from nearby offices. As it has been nearly 60 years since the Tozai Line opened, the surrounding buildings have been rebuilt. They are all directly connected to the underground passage, showing the significant role this passage plays. Some buildings are under reconstruction, and several entrances are currently out of service. The underground passage ends here because there is a highway under the intersection to the east. There is another underground passage associated with the neighboring Nihonbashi Station about 140 meters, 460 feet ahead, but it is not connected to this one. Redevelopment is progressing nearby, and an underground passage passing under the highway is planned for the future. Once that is completed, one will be able to reach beyond Kayabacho Station, 2 stations away, using only the underground passages outside the fare gates. The colors of the walls and pillars in this underground passage change frequently. While there were many black sections when heading east, there are many white sections when heading west, changing the impression. I enter the Tozai Line platform from the east ticket 8. This platform has also been renovated. Stone is used for the floor and weathering steel for the ceiling, which creates a sense of unity by sharing materials with the Marunouchi Line platform. Additionally, glass, which is associated with the light blue line color, is adopted in the design and used for the walls in front of the ticket gates and in the toilets. These panels are laid across the side walls of the tunnel. After the renovation, platform screen doors were installed on the Tozai Line platform. Platform screen doors are present on the platforms of all lines at Otemachi Station, but unlike the others, the Tozai Line operates cars with doors that are wider than usual. Therefore, the platform screen doors are also a wide type, with 2 panels per side. Due to the relationship between the opening and the housing size, the doors are characterized by being asymmetrical. By the way, stations where platform screen doors were installed later have a type with 1 panel per side and a slightly narrower width. The coloring also changed, giving a lighter impression. Come to think of it, this platform has panels on the sidewalls that are stained, perhaps due to heavy water leakage where it intersects with the Marunouchi Line tunnel. Maintenance seems difficult since it is old infrastructure. The renovation of the Tozai Line platform includes not only the appearance, but also the addition of barrier-free facilities. Elevators were installed, and escalators were added to ease congestion. Since the original platform width is not very large, the flow of movement is heavily constricted. The Tozai Line tunnel is 1 size narrower than the road width directly above it. Although such congestion could not have been anticipated, it remains a regrettable situation. I head to the Mita and Chiyoda Line platforms from the Tozai Line platform. This connecting passage is inside the fare gates and was also part of the renovation. It is a clean design with a sense of unity. I go up the escalator and find the passage outside the fare gates on the right side. I go up the escalator once more. Since this area is directly above where the Tozai Line platform ends and the tunnel width narrows, this is reflected in the position of the pillars and the curve of the sidewalls. The connecting passage is shifted to the right side of the tunnel, and because the left side of the pillars is narrow, it is blocked by fences in several places. Looking from the opposite side, the situation I explained becomes clear. During the construction of the Tozai Line, priority was given to access to the Marunouchi Line and Tokyo Station, so the platforms are a bit far apart. An elevator was added to the right, aiming to make the transfer route barrier-free. I proceed to the upward escalator in the foreground. Since the floor height differs slightly depending on the location, it is characterized by these gentle slopes. The Chiyoda Line platform is located to the right here. Perhaps to ease congestion, there is another passage inside the fare gates around the right side, and I can reach the platform from one more set of stairs further back. The Mita Line ticket gates are located past the turn to the left after exiting the gates. I can also go to almost the same place by taking the passage outside the fare gates from the west ticket gate. I exit the west ticket gate, turn left, and proceed while looking at the passage I just took on my left. While the passage I just took goes to the upper level here, this passage dives underneath it. since this also uses the right half of the Tozai Line tunnel that is reflected in the position of the walls. Professional spaces continue on the left, followed by restaurants. When those end, the connecting passage widens suddenly. This is because it now uses the full width of the Tozai Line tunnel. It is a mysterious structure if I am just walking normally, but it is the result of multiple uses sharing the space above the tunnel. There is an elevator on the left, providing barrier-free access. The right side here is the place reached via the previous passage inside the fare gates. I go to the Mita Line platform. Since the Chiyoda Line and Mita Line stations were built offset from each other, the ticket gates are far apart. The interior design changes here. From this point ahead, it seems to be the ownership and management area of the Toei Transportation Bureau. Although the Chiyoda and Mita lines opened around the same time, the Mita Line station has not undergone major renovations. The area around the ticket gates looks exactly like a Toei subway station from a previous era. After seeing the Marunouchi and Tozai Line platforms, I can sense how long it has been in service. The Mita Line is a route connecting Meguro Station to Nishi Takashima Daira Station. The line, which ended at Mita Station for many years, was extended to Meguro Station in 2000, and through service with the Tokyo Meguro Line began. Between Shirokane Takanawa and Meguro, it shares tracks with the Tokyo Metro Namboku Line. With the opening of the Sotechi Tokyo Link Line in 2023, the through service network expanded further. The destinations for the Mita Line, which used to be primarily Hiyoshi or Shirokane Takanawa, have also increased. 8 car formations have been added to the line that used to have only 6 car formations, making it more complex. The Mita Line also has platform screen doors. The first generation doors were installed from 1999 to 2000, and these are the second generation doors installed to accompany the start of 8-car operations. Instead of adding 2 cars worth of doors, the entire set was replaced. There are various differences from the Tokyo Metro platform screen doors, such as lights that flash when a train approaches and indicators on top of the housing to announce the train's arrival. The 6500 series, which debuted to coincide with the start of 8-car operations, has entered this platform. It consists entirely of 8-car formations. The 6300 series has arrived at the adjacent platform. This consists entirely of 6-car formations, and the formations introduced early on are being scrapped as they are replaced by the 6500 series. Since passengers concentrate around the ticket gates I just entered, there are posters to ease congestion. There are 3 ticket gate locations for the Mita Line. The central ticket gate is not open yet. It is only open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., which is quite short for a ticket gate in the middle of the city center. Most of the lights are off, which gives me a bit of a chill. This ticket gate is convenient for going to nearby buildings, but it is not on the transfer route to other lines or Tokyo Station, which is why its operating hours are short. Because it has not been renovated, there is also a fire hydrant on the platform that exudes an old-fashioned vibe. There is an elevator in front of the ticket gate at the end, providing barrier-free access. There is also an upward escalator here. There are many pillars in front of the ticket gate. This is because the Chiyoda and Mita Line tunnels are lined up. The far right is the track toward Yoyogi Uehara on the Chiyoda Line, the center is the track toward Kita Ayase, and the left is the track toward Meguro on the Mita Line. This passage continues to Hibiya Station via Nijubashimaya Station, the next station on the Chiyoda Line. The interior design changes frequently, which is quite interesting. I proceed through the passage outside the fare gates and head toward the Chiyoda Line platform. Previously, the area beyond the fence was also outside the gates, but it seems it was moved inside the gates to accommodate the installation of the elevator. I am walking above the track toward Meguro on the Mita Line. The Chiyoda Line tunnel is below to the right, and the space above it is used as a professional area. The central ticket gate is still closed. A ticket gate looming in a dimly lit underground passage is a bit scary. I have returned to the ticket gate I entered earlier. Here, the Mita Line tunnel shrinks to the left, and the Chiyoda Line tunnel expands from the right. This structure is clearly shown in the arrangement of the walls and pillars. I go to the Chiyoda Line platform. Not only the area around the ticket gates was renovated, but the platform as well. The materials are largely standardized with the Tozai Line, creating a sense of unity for the station. The high ceiling in the center is also the same as the Tozai Line. Incidentally, the panels on the walls are brownish. This is said to be a motif of the trees in the nearby Imperial Palace. I suppose brown panels and the green line color represent a tree. The Chiyoda Line is a route connecting Yoyogi Uehara to Kita Ayase. It has through service with the Odaku Line at Yoyogi Uehara and the Joban Line local trains at Ayase. The number of trains during the morning rush is extraordinary, and the frequency toward Yoyogi Uehara is on par with the Tozai Line. The Chiyoda Line also has platform screen doors. Since there are no wide door cars, the opening width is standard. There are windows in the housing, giving a sense of openness. And here is a feature of the Chiyoda Line. These boarding position markers on the floor belong to the Limited Express romance car. The Chiyoda Line is a route where limited express trains operate, which is extremely rare for a Japanese subway. Even now, when the Yurakucho and Hibiya lines have reserved C trains, it is rare to find a subway where one can ride full-fledged limited express rolling stock. Only this 60,000 series MSE is used for the romance car services through the Chiyoda Line. Toilets were also renovated around the Chiyoda Line platform as part of the overall renovation. The orange section is the toilet. There is a lot of effort put into this toilet, and even the multi-purpose toilet has this interior. It is at a level where one might mistake it for a hotel restaurant. The passage outside the fare gates on the level above the Chiyoda Line platform continues to the end along the platform. It also connects to underground passages leading directly to surrounding buildings and is essential for movement in the neighborhood. I entered through the ticket gate on the south side of the platform, and this is the gate on the north side. Kandabashi is a bridge over the Kanda River flowing to the north. Being at the edge of Otemachi Station, the straight line distances to both Tokyo Station and Kanda Station are almost the same. The passage inside the fare gates connecting to the Hanzomon Line platform is located right inside this ticket gate. There is a poster stating this area becomes very crowded. Because the transfer passage is located where the platform width is not very large, it seems difficult to pass through during rush hours. At the bottom of the stairs, I merge with the passage coming from the opposite direction. That side has escalators for both directions, so many people likely pass through there. Here is the situation during rush hour. Since there is also a passage to the ticket gates, people tend to accumulate. If I turn left here and walk a little, there are stairs and escalators leading to the Hanzomon Line platform. A passage inside the fare gates continues to the right here. This passage connects to the Marunouchi Line platform, and by taking this, one can reach the Marunouchi Line platform without going through the Hanzomon Line platform. There is also a passage outside the fare gates on the level 2 floors above this. Because the Hanzomon Line platform is in a deep location, the levels are separated. The first basement floor is the passage outside the fare gates, the third basement floor is the passage inside the fare gates, and the fourth basement floor is the platform. The section above the Hanzomon Line does not seem to have been a target of the renovation, as the atmosphere of a previous era remains strong. I descend to the Hanzomon Line platform. As no overall renovation has been conducted, signs with a scent of a previous era remain. While guidance signs and departure indicators have been replaced, the oldness is undeniable compared to other Tokyo Metro platforms. The walls were significantly renovated and have changed completely compared to before. Since the materials of the wall panels are very different from the other lines, the installation period also seems to be different. There are also platform screen doors. They are generally the same as the ones on the Chiyoda Line, but the window size and the opening is different, and there are black materials around the windows, giving a sharp impression. The Hanzomon Line is a route connecting Shibuya to Oshiage. It has through service with the Tokyu Toshi Line at Shibuya and the Tobu Skytree Line at Oshiage. As it handles the demand of the Toshi Line, known as a congested route, the minimum interval during the morning rush is 2 minutes. And this is a signature of the Hanzomon Line. It displays which company's car is arriving. This is because the positions of equipment differ by company, and it is a scene unique to the Hanzomon Line. I proceed along the platform. This passage on the east side leads to the platform toward Ikebukuro on the Marunouchi Line. The passage to the platform toward Ogikubo is further back. It is not my imagination that this escalator is longer than the one I rode earlier. This escalator connects the 4th basement floor to the 1st basement floor. The 3rd and 2nd basement floors may partially consist of mechanical rooms, as there are doors next to the stairs. After going up to the 1st basement floor with this escalator and walking a little, the Marunouchi Line platform toward Ikebukuro is there. This is what it looks like on the station map. I can see that the passage is well designed to match the Marunouchi Line layout, which has platforms on both sides of the tracks. A rare car has arrived there. It is the 8000 series, a veteran of the Hanzomon Line that debuted in 1981. While rolling stock replacement is progressing on each line, it is still in operation, but successor cars have already been prepared, and it is expected to retire soon. Here is the escalator at the end of the platform. This connects the 4th basement floor to the 2nd basement floor, and is shorter than the previous one. After descending the escalator, turning right, and going up one more level, the Marunouchi Line platform toward Ogikubo is there. Since this is the boundary between the Marunouchi and Hanzomon lines, the boundary between renovated and unrenovated areas is also here.